Guys, what's up? It's GVK Collectibles, and today we're going to be taking a trip to Skull Island to see if we can find the 8th wonder of the world himself, King Kong. So today, I'm proud to be doing a review on the NECA King Kong from, of course, NECA Toys. Man, what can I say about this figure? It was kind of unexpected to see this figure come out. I would never think in a million years that we would get to see NECA do a King Kong figure, but sure enough, here they come. They announce it. I think, I can't remember when they announced this, but it was a bit ago, but I was really happy to see it get announced. It looks really good from the production stills, and after a while, I've said this because it's been a while since I've had this figure. After a while, I think it's a great figure, but we'll get into that. We'll get into some of the details, but let's get into the box first. The box has of what I looked throughout this figure, I tried to find out if this was actually like a copyright Universal one, like if this was a one done by Universal, but everything I tried to find, nothing. I couldn't find anything to say, like, oh, this is, like, property of Universal. This is, like, a Universal monster. Universal. Because King Kong, for those of you who do know, his copyright is very, very interesting and very weird, where it technically should be public domain, but technically it isn't, because there's, like, different, and the merchandising rights are a little bit different, so that's why, like, with something like Kong Skull Island, where we didn't see any NECA figures, because apparently people didn't think it was Kong, even though it's a giant monkey named Kong, and how many Kongs do we know of, like, other than Queen Kong, which is a knockoff, but I digress. But getting away, the front packaging shows a good production shot of the figure itself and the King Kong. I actually really like the King Kong logo that they went with. It's really, really cool. Kind of harkens back to like the kind of older kind of movies. Then you get another good side profile, another production still of Kong with NECA and real toys on the side, and some more production shots. Not really much, like, they're not doing much information on this one, because this Kong isn't like from a specific movie. For me, this is the 1933 King Kong straight up, but it is kind of, for a lot of people who have said, it's kind of an amalgamation between the different designs, because there's hints of Skull Island in there's hints of like other designs, but generally speaking, this is, for me, this is a 33 King Kong, which looks really great. There's top of the box, bottom, Kyle Windrick, we'll get into him. Of course, you get all the credits of who, hold on, let me see if I can focus in. I think that's the best I could kind of do. I don't know, this, like, camera is so weird. So, yeah, and also to open it up, because, oh my god, I already have the Kong out of the packaging, but, there's another production shot of King Kong, and there's the inside. A lot of, like, their little jungle, diorama that they use. It was really, really cool. So, enough talking about the box, because the box looks great. And also, another thing to note with the box, too, before we jump real quick, it has a matte finish, so, like, it is like for those of you who've seen the newer Sam, like, in Targets and stuff, or even Walmart, because they're starting to show up at Walmart, this figure, the box is a very similar, like, it's a matte kind of finish, like a lot of the others. It's not, like, kind of fancy. So, enough talking about the box. Let's get into Kong himself. Here we have Kong out of the packaging, and, well, he's been out of the packaging for a bit, of course, because I said I wanted to play with these figures a little bit more, get a little used to them, see how their articulation is, because I usually don't like doing reviews right on the fly as I get the figure, because it shows the figure in the boxes and everything, so I'm gonna be probably doing the same way that I did with, like, the NECA Godzilla figures back in the day, is I get them, I play with them in a bit, then I film a review of them, and man, what do I gotta say about this King Kong? The sculpting is amazing on it, the paint is amazing, and he even comes with the extra accessories, like, he just looks really good. He looks he isn't exactly the 1933 King Kong, which a lot of people have said, like, this isn't, like, advertised as a straight-up 1933 King Kong, it's just a regular kind of King Kong, but I think, ultimately, like the Mezco figure, it is the ideal version, everybody's ideal version of King Kong, and I have to... Like the Mezco one, which a lot of people say that, I think this is the ideal version of the 1933 King Kong. It just looks really, really cool. I ultimately hope NECA, even though it would be kind of a cheap variant to do, like it would be kind of cheap, I don't think a lot of people would like it, but I would love it. I would love to see a black and white version of this version of the character. I know Mezco did theirs King Kong like that, so I'd be okay with that. So, yeah, before we jump into Kong himself, I want to take a look at some of the accessories he came with. They're not really accessories as they are interchangeable parts, so let's get to those real quick. Alright, so here we have the first the first big accessory, I think, and this is the head that he actually, when you get the figure itself, this is the head he has on. So this is the head of the just kind of general expression. I don't know what to exactly say, but it's just kind of the general Kong expression to see, and man, just looking at the pure detail, like even in the like lines of the fur look really great. I know for a lot of people, especially like with kind of toys that like there are characters with fur, usually fur is really hard to kind of translate onto plastic, but man, I do think NECA did a really good job. I think it's Kyle Windrick who is the sculptor on this particular Kong figure, and it just looks really, really great. He does have a little bloodshot eyes, so maybe he's been smoking some weed, or he's just been like he's really tired. He's really tired of fighting Tyrannosaurus Rexes all day on Skull Island. But yeah, the head sculpt's really good. This first head sculpt is really beautiful. We'll get a closer look at the other head sculpt, but he also comes with a few other accessories. He comes with a fisted hand, two fisted hands, right and the left, of course, and he also has a kind of wide open hand, like kind of a grabbing hand, which looks really, really good. Like here, if I can do zooming in on detail of it, there we go. But you can tell there's a lot of good detail. It looks like it is like gorilla fur, like gorilla skin, which looks really, really cool. Not that it says it is, but like the sculpting on it is really wonderful. The figures and everything, and even, like, once again, the fur looks really amazing on the figure. So let's jump into Kong, the big boy himself. Alright, so here we have King Kong himself. So this is the second head sculpt. It is the much more ferocious attacking head sculpt that I decided to put on for the rotation, for the rotation base. But man, once again, this one looks really, really good. You get to see like the gums, like, because that's like what gorillas would like do, like especially King Kong in the 1933 one. His eyes aren't as bloodshot, and I will say also the detailing on both eyes, for it's kind of hard to tell. Hold on, let me see if I can get it zoomed in. Oh, come on, I know you want to do it. Okay, so okay. So it's going to have a hard time on the eyes, but the eyes are really, really well detailed. Hopefully you guys won't get googly eyes. Like, I think, perfect eyes on my Kong. But yeah, just once again, the sculpting is just really, really incredible. The arms look really cool, because it is the 1933 King Kong, and also, like, here's the back. A lot of good paint apps on there too, like it's not just brown, it is like a mixture of, you get blacks and kind of, I assume, like a tan kind of color, but it's all kind of blended in, and it looks really, really great. Like, and also you get to see here on the face sculpt, there's multiple, like, kind of, let me see if I can get it. Let's see, sorry guys. Okay, I think that's as good as I'm going to get. But there is a little scarring on the front of the face, but you also get some really good scarring right here, like he was fighting a T-Rex or something, or another dinosaur, or all the other creatures on Skull Island that we don't usually get to see in the 33 movie. Then he's got these really good legs. Like, once again, paint detailing is really, really incredible on this guy. I think he's really, really, really wonderfully done. Like, I think it is probably one of my favorite King Kong figures I've actually held in my hand before, have in my hand. So with that, let's get onto the articulation to see, like, how it is. Kong, and so let's get into his articulation. I did swap the head out just so it can be a little easier. His head can look up all the way down, and it doesn't really look down all too much, but you can luckily with the help of the crunch, the like waist, not the waist, that stomach, like there he has a stomach crunch and he can like look all the way back, which looks really weird, but we'll get into that. But his arms can do a full rotation, swivel, double jointed elbows, double jointed elbow, which is like really great for this Kong figure, and it's also you get a good rotation in the wrist, and it's on a hinge so you can move it up and down. Then you get, I finally found out what these joints were called. I had a brain fart a minute ago, but these are called, he has actually ratchet joints, so he can kick up about that far, go back that far. Knees are double jointed, and feet, there's a pretty good ankle pivot right there for him, which is really good. So, one of my favorite things about this Kong, oh my god. One of my favorite things about this Kong figure is, one, the articulation is really wonderful, but you can also do this. So, I think my biggest complaint with a lot of Kong figures is you can't get him to look like he's pounding his chest. And that's great. Like, for me, I think that is the biggest, like, not a selling point, like, because I think the figure is just phenomenal, but, like, for a Kong figure to be able to, like, have him look like he's banging his chest, like in the movies, is wonderful. Like, I can't believe it's taken this long, because whenever, like, that Mezco figure is really good. I think the only problem that I have with it is the single jointed elbow. I think it's kind of an older joint, so, but being able to have him look like, oh crap, being able to have him look like this, like being able to bang his chest and like roar like he snapped the jaw of a T-Rex looks amazing. Like, it's so cool to see. So with the articulation out of the way and everything, let's get to see what he sizes with. Here we have Kong compared to some other figures from different companies. So here we have from the same company, of course, from NECA, we have Sarah Connor from the Terminator 2-pack that features John Connor, that was a Target exclusive. We have the Return of the Empire Strikes Back, Boba Fett, and we also have the McFarlane Batgirl. So he is a pretty good sized figure. I mean, he definitely dwarfs the Sarah Connor figure, which makes sense. He definitely dwarfs the Boba Fett one, which, you know, makes sense. He's a big boy. So, but like, once again, he looks pretty cool. Like, he looks pretty cool. So if you are looking to have this basically as also, like, for some reason a basic gorilla figure, you can definitely do so. But let's get into some other comparisons real quick. Here we have a freaking Kong party, which, I mean, that's kind of a reference. That's a little nod to Shardo's Prime, which he's been a main inspiration for me doing my figure reviews. So, but here we have some other Kongs from different movies. So let's start on the left. So we got the Playmates 6-inch Kong figure from Kong Skull Island. We have the Battle Damage Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong with the battle axe. Of course, the NECA Kong and the Mezco Kong from, I believe, the comic. There was a Boom comic that came out called, I think it was Kong of Skull Island, which I'm pretty sure, and that's what the figure is based off. So, once again, these are all the Kong figures I have, and I think definitely my favorite, if I'm going to have to pick, is definitely going to be the NECA Kong. There's just something about the paint apps, the articulation, the sculpting is really good. Not to discount, like, I think the sculpting on the Mezco is really great, and also these two figures are really great for the price points that you can get them at for. Like, these two are roughly $12, and but when comparing like a highly collector figure within the 6-inch scale or the 8-inch, because this guy's a little bit bigger, he's about an 8-inch figure. I would definitely suggest this guy. I'd definitely pick up this guy, but ultimately, if you are on a budget, this guy's definitely worth to go. He is like $22, I believe, or $23. While this guy over here he's like a little bit more. He's about $50. So, yeah, if I were to suggest any of them, I would definitely suggest picking up the Kong figures. So, let's get into one quick, really cool, some more comparisons real quick. Compared to some dinosaur figures. So, I figured I would do what to see what he would scale with ultimately from the Patel line. He looks really good next to the Amber Collection Blue, and this is the Walmart exclusive Battle Damage Albertosaurus. And for my money, this guy is actually a good stand-in for a T-Rex. Like, I actually compared him to the T-Rex from the Extreme Chopping one, because that was relatively the closest one that fit into scale with this guy, and that one's a little too big. But like for something like the Albertosaurus, one, you're getting a really cool looking Tyrannosaur figure, but also it is definitely like you can have it look like a T-Rex, and it can be like, you could say, oh, this is like a stylized T-Rex. It's very different comparative to the seeing him fight like a Jurassic Park T-Rex. But like for those of you who want to wonder what dinosaur figures fit in the scale with this guy, I would definitely go with the Albertosaurus. I don't know if you can find this guy particularly anymore, because he was like the first Albertosaurus. There are a few others you can definitely get. I would also suggest getting the blue too, because they look really cool together. And you can get a lot of cool photos with these guys, and you can get a cool display for these. So we're just gonna jump into the final comparison, I promise, and this is actually a really needed one. So here we have him compared to, of course, his arch nemesis in hopefully 2021. Hopefully, just doing Godzilla. So this guy very much dwarfs the Godzilla line, which of course makes sense just because this guy wasn't, he was made after Godzilla figures. But so we have the 1962 King Kong versus Godzilla design, we have the Tokyo SOS design, and the Godzilla versus Biollante design. Overall, I do think he can fit well into the design. Like, for these figures, he is a little bit bigger, but at the same time, I've always kind of looked at, like, when Godzilla fights Kong, usually Kong's roughly the bigger one, or whenever Godzilla's fighting another monster, he's relatively always going to be a little bit smaller. There's been exceptions, of course, like the 2014 film, but, like, other than that, I do think you can get some really cool battles out of this guy and the 62 and this new King Kong figure. And if you want, I know there are other people who've actually scaled the Tokyo SOS Godzilla. This guy is actually relatively big. I don't know what's up with mine. Maybe oh my god, sorry. Just the way how I have him positioned, like with his knees and everything. But usually, this guy is roughly on par with this guy. So I don't know what's up with that. I think it's just me not knowing how to pose my figures, even though I do know, but at the same time. But yeah, I think these two look really, really good together. Here we have God Kong right over a dead Albertosaurus, or T-Rex, whatever you prefer. And man, there's really not a lot of negatives I could say about this figure. I think this figure is really, really great. The articulation is really wonderful. The paint apps are great. The sculpting is fantastic. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of negatives I could say about this figure. I do hope with this Kong figure we do get a few more, like, even if they are like Kong, like other Kong versions of Kong, like from 67. I don't think we will see a 62 one, but it would be really cool to do that. But I also hope to see actually more of kind of like classic King Kong, like base kind of figures, so stuff from the 1933 movie, so we get to see like a vintage kind of meat eater figure, aka the T-Rex in that movie. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely suggest picking this guy up. He's really cool, and for the price point, really great. You don't have to pay ridiculous amounts of money for this guy. So, if you guys like the video, remember, hit subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you get notified when we do videos like Mythical Out Mondays, What's in the Box Wednesday, or figure reviews like this today. Another thing also to note, you can follow me on Instagram at GVKCollectibles. You can also find my brother, Jack's Pop Guy, there too. He's also got a Mercari store. I am actually slowly getting into Mercari, but I'm not going to sell too many figures. I'm going to probably sell some stuff, but nothing that I collect right now. So, but yeah, keep tuning that. I'm not really ready to promote it quite yet, so yeah. But other than that, also hit like so we know that you've hit like. A like would be very much appreciated. God, I cannot talk today. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and hopefully your October goes amazingly. Peace.